What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like us and subscribe to the channel as you come in and you check out the content. And I want to talk about like the Lakers and what's the guy named JJ Redick and their situation that's going on. Like recently, JJ Redick came out and said that he was disappointed in the team and he was going to their next practice was going to be very difficult. It was going to be uncomfortable for the players on the team, right? And that got me to thinking about, like how much really leverage, how much leverage do JJ Redick really have? Because people said like it got out that he was supposed to really get on LeBron James or whoever he felt like was was not doing their part on the floor when the Lakers got blown out the game that he was talking. I think that was the Detroit game or the game before the Detroit game because they came and got beat by Detroit too, right? But in order for JJ Redick to have the type of influence and leverage, he would have to be a coach that would be more respected, like somebody like Greg Popovich for uh for the Spurs. Like when Greg Popovich coached the Spurs, he coached Tim Duncan, his star player, like he like the same way he coached the guy on the bench, right? Like it's legendary, like how Greg Popovich used to like cuss Tim Duncan out and talk, just coach him hard, like he was coaching, like I said, like the 12th man on the bench. And JJ Redick cannot do that same. He can't do that with LeBron James, right? And one of the reasons is two reasons. Number one, JJ Redick is not. He don't have the experience. He don't have the. He hasn't been around long enough where he commands that type of respect. He wants that type of respect, and you have to put in the kind of work whereas though you earn that type of respect, whereas a superstar player like a Tim Duncan or LeBron James is going to allow you to coach them like that. And so with this, I think this is his second year. This being JJ Redick's second year, not just coaching in the NBA, but coaching in general. Like he don't have any high school experience. JJ Redick don't have any college experience. He wasn't an assistant, on behind any great coaches in the NBA. So he wasn't even a guy who did like NBA film or broke down NBA film. He just went directly. He skipped the line and went directly to a head coach of an NBA team. So even if he didn't have LeBron James on his team, it would be hard for JJ Redick to garner the kind of respect that a lot of coaches work years and years to gain, right? And so for him to expect to be able to do that and call players out, I just thought that was unrealistic of JJ Redick, and he don't understand, or I guess he didn't think that it mattered the fact that you do really have to work your way up to that. And so he wouldn't be able to coach, like I said, coach LeBron James the same way Popovich coached Tim Duncan. That's one, because he don't have that respect. Number two, LeBron James is not the same type of player that Tim Duncan is. A lot of if you look back in history, like a lot of the great basketball players allowed themselves to be coached because they understood and they had at least enough wisdom to know that they needed the coach, and that the coach brought a certain perspective to the team, whereas though he didn't, it would benefit the player and the team. And it was just a different time back in the day. Like even if Mike allowed Mike allowed Phil Jackson to coach him, because Mike understood that there is a hierarchy to things, and he had respect for his coaches, and the people above the coach. Although, at times he didn't always agree with what happened with the general managers and the owners, or Jerry Reinsdorf. I think I'm saying his name right. He didn't always agree with that guy, but he still respected this guy's authority. LeBron James has never been that type of player. LeBron James has been the type of player that he's always relied on his physical ability, and he thought that his physical ability was enough to get it, to get it done. It got him to the NBA, and then once he got to the NBA, that's all he knew. He never really he didn't go to college. So he didn't play for anybody like Dean Smith, or he didn't have the opportunity to play for somebody like a Mike Krzyzewski at Duke. So he don't know what it is to understand like how important hierarchies are. Even though you are an excellent athlete, you still need great coaches around. You still need great general managers, and he never really that's part of his life where he didn't get that, because he went, like I said, he went directly from people telling him he was the best thing since sliced bread to playing in the NBA. Which I think that had LeBron James gone to college and played at least 1 year under somebody like like the coach that was at like Boeheim, like Carmelo Anthony played, at least he played 1 year under Coach Boeheim. And that, playing for those guys who know basketball, who's going to teach you how to play basketball, and you understand that there is a hierarchy. Though that is just becoming more obvious that kind of stuff is just priceless. Like Dean Smith, Mike had the physical talent, but Dean Smith taught Mike how to play basketball. A lot of people say he taught Mike, he made Mike a better basketball player. From a mental aspect, right? But LeBron James never got challenged like that. He didn't have the opportunity. When LeBron James he went to Miami, and that Pat Riley is in Miami, and Pat Riley is an old school kind of guy. He coached Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Worthy, Kurt Rambis. Like, they had a lot of great players in LA when Pat Riley was there. And Pat Riley, well, no doubt about it that Pat Riley was the coach. Anytime, if Pat Riley can coach Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and as great as Kareem was, and somebody needed to be able to coach LeBron. And that's the biggest thing about LeBron. Like, LeBron James cannot, when he played with Pat Riley, he wanted to get, what's the guy? Erik Spoelstra, the coach. He wanted to have Erik Spoelstra removed as a coach. And Pat Riley didn't go for that. Pat Riley was like, you need to, he's your coach. He's as long as you here, he's going to be the coach, and so you need to get that, get over that. And I always say that if LeBron James had stayed in Miami, all right, so he made the decision to leave Cleveland, and people would have gave him a pass had he stayed in Miami and won not just those 2 championships that they won in Miami, but allow Pat Riley and Erik Spoelstra to continuously put the talent around him to make him successful. But he didn't do that. He wanted things to be his way, because that's what he was used to. That's the way he was, like I said, since everybody found out he could play basketball, since he realized he was a really good basketball player, it was telling him he was the best thing since sliced bread. And in my opinion, that's what really ruined him, from being able to be coached. Like, so he would never be a Tim Duncan, because he didn't allow, somebody to coach him. He would never be a Kobe Bryant. Even Kobe Bryant he realized the importance of Phil Jackson. Isaiah Thomas realized the importance of Chuck Daly. Larry Bird, man, had, what was the guy named? Casey Jones, and they never had, because those coaches understood, hell yeah, I'm dealing with franchise ball players. Like, people come to see them guys. They're not coming to see Casey Jones. They're not coming to see Pat Riley. But still, they had respect from the franchise ball players. Nobody coming to see Chuck Daly. You know, I mean, and Chuck Daly had nice suits. Pat Riley had the nice suits. You know, Casey Jones. You know those, but everybody know that like Larry Bird is what put he is the one who put butts in the seats. Isaiah Thomas put butts in the seats. But those guys never lost sight of the fact that those coaches, man, was just so important and integral into putting the right pieces around those guys and allowing those guys to be the players that they turned into. It just made for a better when you have players who are committed and bought into the coaches program, bought into the team's program, right? And you got the leaders like that, like Tim Duncan, you know, and if you can coach a guy like Tim Duncan, and you can coach a guy like Larry Bird, that's, in my opinion, that's like one of the biggest downfall for LeBron James, man. He just never allowed anybody to coach him, and I think JJ Redick is in a situation where he don't have any leverage. He don't have the respect of a LeBron James, whereas though he can coach him. You know, I would really actually like to know, like when LeBron James played in the Olympics and Mike Krzyzewski was there, like what was LeBron James's like how, I want to know like what was that relationship about? You know, you talking about a guy, Mike Krzyzewski, man, who just was just a flat out winner and knew how to coach and had a lot of great guys come through his program, man. When you got that type of legacy as a coach, man, it just like a player like LeBron James seemed like he would levitate towards, you know, gravitate to a guy like Mike Krzyzewski, man, and want to be coached by somebody that's great, you know. But LeBron James never did that, and I think that that's a big downfall in LeBron James' career. All the great players, man, you can look back and say, all right, well, they had this guy who coached them there, you know. Tim Duncan was a prime example of that, one of the great examples of that. So that's my take on it. Yeah, JJ Redick, man, don't have any leverage when it comes to coaching LeBron James, and not even Luka. You know, this the whole new player empowerment, man. It's just making for because no way in the world, no coach with that is just not more than just a figurehead, or a coach that's like what they call him, a lame duck coach. You know, and LeBron is not the only one. I don't think that, what's the guy named Giannis was coached correctly in you know, in Milwaukee. That's why he only won one championship. I thought Giannis could have won multiple championships. Luka, I think, could have been back and forth to the and the NBA really got cheated, man, when you stop letting coaches coach these guys, man. And you get, you know, you allow these kids who don't know anything about organizations to run coaches, good coaches, off the team, man, out of the city. It's just crazy. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, man. I'm going to check y'all out in the next video. Peace.